Did you ever think the price of garbage collection could spark a battle in the Supreme Court? Today's story isn't just about trash. It's about who gets to challenge government actions.
You're right. It goes way deeper than city fees. I'm Sarah, and joining me is attorney JFM, our own friendly neighborhood apektado. We're diving into a Supreme Court case that touches on standing, legal boundaries, and why not everyone gets a say in every fight.
Exactly. This episode will break down the basics of legal standing, look at why Manila's garbage fees landed in court, and dissect what happens when you try to skip the line or the rules.
Plus, we'll unpack the idea of transcendental importance and why even a cause that affects many might not give just anyone the right to sue. By the end, you'll know when you actually have the right to bring a case and what pitfalls to avoid.
Let's get right into it. Legal standing. Not every complaint has its day in court. The law puts up pretty strict gates before you can even knock.
It sounds almost harsh, but there's a reason for it. If just anyone could challenge any law, courts would drown in lawsuits. So, you need personal and substantial interest. What does that actually mean in plain English?
It's basically, have you been directly affected? For example, if Manila passes a law and you live in Cebu, you can't complain unless you can prove it hits you personally, like if you own property or a business there.
I get it. It's like if your neighbor changes their Wi-Fi password. You can't complain unless you're the one losing access. The law's trying to keep the argument between the right parties.
That brings us to John Barry Tayam. He lives in Las Piñas, but challenged Manila's new garbage fees, arguing they were unfair and improperly passed.
But since he's not paying those fees, he doesn't even live or work in Manila. The court said he lacked standing. It almost feels like he was trying to fix someone else's house before his own.
Exactly. The Supreme Court made it clear, if you aren't directly affected, you can't be the one to sue. It's not about indifference, but about proper process.
It's a tough pill to swallow for people driven by a sense of justice. But I guess it's how the system keeps order and prevents chaos in the courts.
Here's where things get tricky. Mr. Tayam tried invoking transcendental importance, hoping the Supreme Court would ignore standing, because the issue was big.
That phrase gets tossed around a lot in legal dramas, but the Supreme Court didn't budge. They said it's not a magic phrase that opens all doors, especially if the complaint is about facts, not pure legal questions.
Exactly. The SC only flexes on standing when it's a clear constitutional issue. Here, Tayam was challenging how the law was passed, which is fact-heavy. The justices don't sift through evidence, they stick to interpreting the law.
So, even with the best intentions, the courtroom isn't a place for every passionate crusader. Sometimes, the rules are the real gatekeepers.
There's another twist. Tayam rushed straight to the Supreme Court, skipping the lower courts. That's like trying to see the school principal before talking to your teacher.
I've seen that happen. People think big issues need the biggest court. But the legal system is built on order. You start at the bottom, unless there's a really solid reason not to.
And here, there wasn't. The Supreme Court pointed out that the correct process protects everyone's rights. It makes sure the facts get hashed out before the highest court weighs in.
It's a reminder that knowing the rules isn't just bureaucratic, it's strategic. If you skip steps, you might trip over your own case before it even starts.
This whole case shows how dangerous it is to go it alone or rush into legal action without a game plan. Even a genuine grievance can go nowhere if you get the basics wrong.
I see it all the time. People think being right is enough, but the courts need you to be right and to play by the rules. Missing just one requirement can shut your case down.
That's why we always say, the law rewards those who are vigilant and precise, not just passionate. Getting the right advice early can save a lot of heartache.
It really drives home why consulting a professional isn't just a luxury, it's basic self-defense when it comes to protecting your rights.
So, let's wrap up with 3 key things to remember. First, always check if you have legal standing. Are you directly affected? Second, respect the hierarchy of courts, don't skip essential steps. Third, understand that not every big issue lets you bypass the rules.
And the biggest action step? If you think your rights are being violated, Pause before filing anything, consult with a legal expert to map your path. It could make all the difference.
Legal clarity isn't just about knowing your rights, but knowing the right way to protect them. Thanks for joining us on The Gavel and the City. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's help more people get wise about the law.
Before we go, thanks for tuning in and letting us help you get wiser and more informed. Like, subscribe, and share this episode so more people can secure their future the right way. Remember, my dear it's me. The advice provided here is an opinion based on the facts presented and is intended for general informational purposes only. It is always best to consult with a professional before taking any formal action, especially if it involves legal steps against others. There you have it. I hope this brought clarity and comfort to your day. Be wise. Be informed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast so we can help more people find their way. Once again, this is Sarah, and with me is Attorney JFM. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and remember, it's not just what you fight for, but how you fight for it. Until next time,